All right, so hey, this is Larry Yeager at Yeager's Cycle, and one thing I thought we'd talk about today is the clutch adjustment on a Pan America Harley-Davidson motorcycle. It has recently changed. Harley-Davidson used to have a clutch free play range of 1 to 2 millimeters, and they've recently, like within the last month or 2 months, changed it from 1 to 2 millimeters to 2 to 3 millimeters. Which, so one says, well, what is 1 to 2 millimeters without having a measuring device? So what I've always referenced it to was a coin. Okay, so if we take a set of calipers and a dime, and a dime is 1.30 millimeters. So in your mind, in the previous adjustment, you could always just think of by pulling this cable out right here on this clutch perch. So when you pull this out, that is free play, when you've got that free flop, okay? Through all the years, I was always one that just made sure I had some flop in the lever, and that's okay, except for these adjustable levers. Sometimes that changes a little bit. So I have got to the habit of pulling on this cable, which gives you the actual free play in the clutch, okay? So when you're thinking a dime's width of 1 to 2 millimeters, that's a pretty narrow range, okay? Pretty small. So if you, depending on what style of rider you are, if you just are a street rider and you jump on this thing and you just go street riding, the good chances you probably won't, you rarely have to adjust your clutch cable free play. On the other hand, if you do a lot of off-road riding, which is what I prefer to do, and I like to do a lot of trials riding with my Pan America, so in that situation, you're kind of clutch abusive, so to speak, and you can really alter the clutch free play by heating the clutch up, by wearing the clutch, slipping the clutch more, it heats it and it wears it down. So the clutch free play will vary quite a little bit, okay? So when you only have a dime's width of free play, that's not much to play with. Because let me tell you, if this free play disappears, if that free play disappears, what's going to happen is it is going to start to disengage your clutch without you even pulling the lever in. So it may just disengage it 5% off of the spring rate or 10% off the spring rate. If it does that, then it has a tendency of slipping the clutch, and essentially once that clutch has slipped, it is done for. It rarely will be okay from there on out. That little bit of slip a lot of times will kind of burn the plates, and it will really shorten the life of your clutch up. If you keep a clutch free play maintained correctly, and you ride it without abusing it, the clutches last lots and lots of miles. But I've been amazed here lately how many people on all the social media sites are having a lot of trouble with clutch adjustment on Pan America, and I think that's one reason why Harley changed the adjustment. They basically doubled the free play adjustment. And I think that's why they did that, because there's not a lot of room for error when the adjustment is only 1 dime's width wide or 1 to 2 millimeters. So now it has gone to 2 to 3 millimeters, and essentially that is 2 dimes. So what I'm telling you to do is, when you're riding the thing and you want to just give a quick glance at your free play, just think of a 2 dimes width, which this one is about right. So if I take and I pull that one out, let me do it this way. Insert the dimes in there. Just about right. They just go in there. So it's going to be in that 2 to 3 millimeter range. So it's going to be perfect. But again, depending on how you ride and what style you do, and if you're, do a big old smoky burnout and it heats the clutch up, that free play is liable to go away. When it goes away, it's a problem. You need to keep that free play in there. So check that occasionally. When I'm riding, I'll be going along. If I stop and rest, I'll just grab it, pull it out, just make sure it's okay. Make sure it's got a nice little flop to it. There are 2 places to adjust it. right here on this cable, there's a screw adjuster. So you will loosen the lock nut. You will loosen this lock nut and then adjust this adjuster out. So if you want more free play, you screw it all the way in, and that's all the way in. If you want less free play, you screw that out, and you can see you're using up. Now I have no free play. That is a no-no. You do not want that. So screw that in and lock down your adjuster. See, we got a couple dimes width right there, which is about right. So right now what I would do is I would lock down that adjuster. Also, it has an inline clutch adjuster as well. I haven't disassembled this bike. It requires just a little bit of disassembly to get to that inline adjuster, but essentially it's right here underneath of this, underneath your fuel tank.